So my 89-year-old wheelchair-bound neighbor has been abandoned in his house by his son and previously live-in caretaker. I found this out when I was unloading groceries and I heard someone calling out, "Miss, hey miss," and I look over, it's my neighbor from his front door because he can't make it over the threshold onto his porch. He's completely stuck in his home. He's calling out to me, Miss, can I use your phone?" And I've met this neighbor once before, about a year ago, when he was calling out the same thing, like, Miss, can I use your phone? And previously, a year ago, he borrowed my phone, called his son, got a hold of him, his son came home, everything was fine. This time, however, when I go up to let him use my phone, he starts unloading the tea on me. Apparently his son is back on drugs, has abandoned him, stole his car, stole his cell phone, and basically left this man for dead without having a cell phone and no way to get any help. Like, he was cooked, basically. Also told me that he called out to a different neighbor asking to use her phone, and she said, "I need my phone," and walked away and fucking left him. If I figure out which neighbor that was, it's on site, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I let him use my phone. He uses my phone to call his son. His son didn't answer, obviously. He says, "Oh, he's back on drugs, like, he's left me, I've been here for 12 days, blah, blah." And he stole my phone. So then the next call he makes is to his own cell phone. A guy picks up and says, "Hello, like, who is this?" And he goes, let's just call the old man John to protect his privacy, obviously. And he goes, "This is John, blank's dad." And the guy on the phone goes, "Blank's dad? He said you were dead." No, he's not dead. He's just been abandoned, and his son is telling you that so that he could sell you his cell phone, I guess. John was like, "You need to bring my phone back. Like, I need my phone, blah, blah, blah." And the guy was like, "Sure, okay, I'll bring it back." And so the old man, like, I'm standing there like, wait a second, like, no. And he gives out his address. Obviously, like, I don't know these people. Obviously, the son is not running with a good crowd. So I'm, like, extremely worried. Like, you're an elderly wheelchair-bound man who...
It said haven't got the phone back or heard from that guy again. I think it's been shut off. Yeah, I just was thinking, I'm like, he ain't bringing that phone back.
Is now giving out your address to people who know you've been abandoned by yourself. It's just a whole bad situation, really bad. So I get in the house. He has no food. I open his fridge. He had a little bowl of a dressed salad that he had been eating on for like days. There was nothing else in the fridge. So I went and fixed him some pasta, brought him some groceries. The way his eyes lit up and he horked that pasta down broke my heart. Like, this man could have starved to death, especially if the only neighbors he was able to call to all ignored him. But I'm just not that bitch. I'm gonna do something. Anyway, the universe has aligned and brought me on the fucking situation. And I'm doing my best to handle it. So after that first night when we got him situated, I came straight home and I called APS. This is blatant elder abuse. This is not okay. But I had no idea how quick they were going to be. So the next day I went out, spent $50 of my own money to buy him a track phone. And as I'm at his house back with him setting up the phone, the social worker shows up. I think this is like the triage guy, not the actual social worker, but the guy who comes in first, gets everything settled, blah, blah, blah. So this guy actually brought a track phone from the state for him. And so I can't return my track phone. That's $50 down the drain. If anybody needs a track phone with like a couple of minutes on it, let me know and I'll give it to you. So we got a phone from the state and the triage.
Yo, shout out to her for helping her neighbor out. A lot of y'all don't be even getting along with y'all neighbors. You know what I'm talking about? Why do everybody have problems with their neighbors?
Social worker brought him some groceries. And then I have not seen or heard from social services again. I've called them again, like a couple more times to try to like, what's going on here? I haven't heard back from them. I'm also considering calling the Veterans Crisis Line because John is a Navy veteran. That's all the things I've done so far. So John also has a dog. His dog is like his best friend and his only connection and the only person, well, the only thing that he talks to every day. You know, his dog is so dear to his heart, but John is wheelchair bound. He can't take the dog outside, so he relies on puppy pads that he puts out in his kitchen. But it's gotten extremely messy. His wheels, like on his wheelchair, are coated in feces because he'll accidentally run some over and not really notice. And so the whole house has a pretty bad odor. I did my best to kind of clean the floor there and put down new puppy pads, take his trash out for him and everything else. But the house is not in a great state. And he's also trying to sell the house right now so that he can move somewhere more appropriate for him. But he said, like, his realtor's barely doing anything, won't even tell him when people are coming over. And I take everything John tells me with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, he is 89 years old. I don't know his, his mental capacity. He seems pretty with it, but he's 89. So I'm sorry if that makes me ageist. Everything he says to me, I'm kind of, do my own research. But anyway, he said people would come by to look at the house. They would walk like into the living room and then just kind of like turn around and leave. And I can totally see why. Like, the floor, when you're stepping on it, is like sticky. It reeks of ammonia in there. It's bad. And so John told me he's been trying to contact cleaning services, but he can't get anybody out there. And he doesn't know how to use the internet or anything. He's been I think he just goes off of like TV commercials or whatever, like based on who he's calling. So I reached out to a cleaning service here in Pittsburgh. They came through today and actually did a walkthrough. She said she's going to get back to me. They said there's some possibility of them being able to do some free cleaning, but she's got to take, her findings back to her boss. Like, if the house is considered biohazardous, they're not going to feel comfortable sending their employees in there. And then at that point, I either need to figure out how to pay for a biohazard clean, or I got to get in there and do it myself. So that brings me to the point of this video. If you've watched this whole rant so far, you're amazing. But I will be using every cent. I'm in the creator fund. Every cent from this video, I am going to spend on this man. The other update, so the city, the social worker brought him that track phone, but he absolutely cannot use it. It's a flip phone. He previously had a smartphone. He's used to texting on his smartphone. He can use the keyboards and the touchscreen, but he cannot make heads or tails of texting on a flip phone. So yesterday, his other son was supposed to come out and help me with this, but never showed up. So I just went to the Cricket store myself. I spent $142 of my own money again to buy him a cheap smartphone, get him the first month of the plan set up. So now he can like text people and actually use his phone and feel a little more connected and a little less alone. That's the other wrinkle of this, why I ended up, he did give me like his debit card and his ID and everything to go to the Cricket store and get this set up. But I know he's on a fixed income. He gets Social Security, and his drug addicted son actually stole his Social Security check for this month already. His son was on all of his bank accounts and everything, and then when he got back into drugs, drained him dry. I think he has like mobile banking, so as soon as John's Social Security check hit this month, it had already been withdrawn. So that's $500 down the drain. Luckily, his good son did help him get set up with new bank accounts, so he is helping and doing his best. And I don't know their family situation or anything like that, but it seems like a situation where they need help. Like, they need help from me, but more so they need help from services. And that's what I'm desperately trying to like make sure are in place for him. And I'm going to keep doing that. But so where we're at now, this is the other update. The bad son also stole his car. I think I mentioned that. It's finally back. They found it abandoned on the side of the road. And it got towed back, no keys or anything. So now he has to call and pay a locksmith to make new keys. It's a whole thing. There are a lot of moving pieces, and I just want to make sure he's going to be okay. Me and my fiance are moving soon, and we're not going to be able to keep taking care of him. So I'm working with whatever official channels I can, and also trying to do everything in my own power I can to help make this situation better. Share, like, comment, tell me your favorite color, whatever, in the comments. That would be amazing. If anybody cares, I'll keep you updated on the situation, but that's where we stand now.
All right. It's unfortunate that his son is on drugs. I don't know about his other son, but this just shows me that you have to, let's just take the drugs out of the situation. Like, you got to treat your kids right. You know what I'm saying? Because if you never know, you take care of your kids. When you get older, you motherfucking might need your kids to take care of you. So it's best to do right by your kids and treat them right, because we done heard plenty of stories where something happened to some of their parents. They gonna be like, fuck their parents. You know what I'm saying? So, but unfortunately, one of his sons is on drugs. I'm not sure if the other son could step up. People got their own lives, and things of things of that nature. So it's unfortunate, but that just put in perspective. Hey, you gotta take care of your kids. You know what I'm saying? Because you treating your mama and your daddy treating you wrong all these years, and then when they get older, you might say fuck your mama and your daddy. You know what I'm saying? So actually, well, it's not fuck. Well, I don't know what it is. My grandma is 97, and her daughter is 60. My auntie is 65 or some shit. I don't know. And she do not fuck with her mama just because of something that happened when she was 20 something years old. You know what I'm saying? So luckily my grandma has, multiple kids, but that's just put in perspective on one of your kids saying fuck you even though you're older. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to grandma 97. You know what I'm talking about? So
I cannot believe how much attention John's story is getting, but it makes me so happy. I really hope that we can turn this attention into concrete positive action for John and JJ. A lot of comments were asking me if I've made a GoFundMe, and initially I didn't feel comfortable asking for money because I felt like, I got this, I'm gonna figure it out. But then a lot of other comments were like, a lot of these social services are getting cut, XYZ is happening, things are rough out there, and I just thought, fuck it, quite honestly. If I can get this man some cash in hand, that literally can only help him. It can only help him. So I set up a GoFundMe. The link is in my bio. If you want to help John and JJ, please.
All right, I will be looking and seeing, making sure the link is in her bio, and I will be putting it in the description below. All right.
Please donate, but don't feel any pressure. Again, this video you're watching right now, I am in the Creator Fund, and this money will be going towards helping John. The most pressing thing, I think, is getting his locks rekeyed so that his bad son, if he ever shows up, cannot get back in the house. So I want to get his locks rekeyed. I want to get his house cleaned. Potentially it will count as biohazard, which will be a pretty penny, but we're going to figure that out. I want to help him fix some things around his house to help him sell it. And then I've seen some fundraisers for elderly folks on here really take off. And if we get even a fraction of that success, I'll be able to help John get into some sort of residential care home where he can bring his dog. Because I can tell you right now, I could offer him to live in the fanciest mansion in the world. If he can't bring his dog, he's not going. So we will see what we can do there. Next, I want to address some recurring comments I've been seeing on the video. First up, a lot of people are saying, you don't know him, you don't know his story, you don't know why he's by himself, don't use abandoned too loosely. I calls him like I sees him. I don't know his history, but innocent until proven guilty, right? Like, I'm not just going to decide he could be a bad person, therefore I'm going to be a bad person. All I see is a human being, my neighbor, in crisis. So I'm going to do something. Next up, I had people calling bullshit. They're like, you didn't buy all, like, I bought the track phone. I really did. And the state brought him actually an identical one, and it is so non-intuitive, and he cannot use it. So believe me or not, I don't really care. There are also so many comments with really good ideas and resources, and I thank all of you so much for the information. I'm trying to read everything, but I do work full-time also, and I'm trying to juggle both. And honestly, not to be lazy, but I kind of see GoFundMe as a way around any official systems, because at the end of the day, if I don't have to deal with bureaucracy, good. Like, I know for a fact John spent almost all of his minutes right away being on hold with the Social Security Administration, trying to get his check changed to his new bank account, which of course didn't happen in time, and it was stolen. So, holy shit, I'm literally not even posted the video yet, and there's already donations coming in, you guys. This is insane. I know y'all don't fucking know me. I, myself, anytime I see a GoFundMe, I don't trust anybody half the time. And even one time I did donate to a GoFundMe, my money got refunded back to me like a couple months later. So I get it. I too am a skeptic with all of this stuff. In the interest of John's privacy, I really can't show you too much, but I will show you what I can, and I will definitely keep you updated on the progress that we're making. I think we literally already have like $100, which is insanity. So I don't really know what else to say. I appreciate everyone's help and attention, and I'm so glad that we're all being good neighbors and we're all stepping up. Whether or not you are aware, Pittsburgh is the Mr. Rogers neighborhood, and we are not, on Mr. Rogers' watch, going to let an elderly neighbor suffer. So thank you to everyone who's helping, and let's get this done.
All right, like I said, I will be putting the GoFundMe in the description below. Shout out to the people that's helping John out. John definitely need to get that Social Security check switched over for sure.
Have almost hit $5,000 in the GoFundMe.
Oh shit, they showing out on her people
For John. I can't even believe this. I'm so happy. I think we're literally going to be able to do all the things for him that we need to do. So I wanted to make this video to answer some frequently asked questions and just give my 2 cents on some comments I've seen. Number one, a lot of people are telling me to call APS. This situation has been reported to APS. I've actually called them a couple of times. So that is what that is. Next up, he does have Meals on Wheels. When I was over there today, I was able to confirm somebody knocked on the door. They were showing up with lunch for him. So we're good there as well. A lot of people are commenting maybe I can get someone in there to do a free clean. I've actually already reached out to a cleaner here in Pittsburgh. If they're able to do the clean, obviously we're going to like blast their name and everybody's going to give them business. But again, it might be biohazard and that might be out of their doability, I guess. So if that's the case, I'll maybe look to see if there's a different company I could contact, or now we have this money, we can just pay for a biohazard clean. If that's what we must do, we will do it. I've also seen people mention this money potentially messing up his benefits, and that's a really good point. I definitely want to make sure I don't do anything that's going to mess up his Medicaid, his Social Security, whatever else. My friend is an attorney who does money stuff, I guess, and I'm going to make sure everything is run by him, looked at by him. For now, the GoFundMe is in my name. I'm hoping I don't get any tax implications from this, but again, I'm hoping my friend will be able to help us figure out how do we get the money out and start spending it on John without accidentally like ruining his life, because that is exactly the opposite of what we're trying to do. Some people are suggesting putting in a doggy door. I just don't think that's going to be a good idea. Like you can see from that video, JJ does not stop skittering. He runs away, and he doesn't come when he's called. Like one time he made it out the front door and I had to go get him down the street. So a doggy door wouldn't be good because if he won't come back inside, John has no way of like going out to go get him. I also don't think a long line would be good because same thing, if he goes out in the backyard and gets tangled around a deck pole or something, there's nothing that John would be able to do by himself. So I am going the route of finding a giant puppy litter box that will be able to put the puppy pads in, so that once the house is clean, if JJ misses the puppy pad a little bit or whatever, it doesn't matter because it's contained in plastic, that John, he is able to like reach the floor and like clean up a little bit, and that'll hopefully be a lot easier on him. And a lot of people are talking about like in-home help and stuff. And I think that is something I definitely want to pursue, but I'm kind of hoping more so to just get him out of that house and get him somewhere safer for him and his dog. So we will just see where the GoFundMe goes. The amount of money in there is going to dictate like what we're able to do. And so we're just going to have to see. I know that elder care is extremely expensive, extremely expensive. So maybe if it ends up being better for him to just have people coming to his house and he doesn't sell his house, I don't know. We're going to have to take all that a day at a time and just figure out what the best path forward is. John is extremely grateful. I think he still doesn't fully believe me that this is happening. He even asked me, he's like, is this legal? So he doesn't know anything about any of this stuff. And honestly, neither do I. At least I could figure out how to set it up and post the video. But from there, I'm calling the lawyers. But thank you all so much. Please keep boosting and sharing. I don't have a set goal in mind. I think I just want to let this thing go off into the universe and see what we can come up with. I'm sure I'll cut it off at some point when when I feel like we've got enough money that he's going to be fully set for life. But we'll just see when that point is. And yeah, thank you all so much. John extends his gratitude. You can go back and watch my last video. He barely believes me that this is happening. I told him somebody donated $100 and this just blew his mind that people care. So thank you all so much. And I'll keep you updated.
Okay, there was a time when neighbors were your community and they come together to help each other out. You're doing such a kind and wonderful care.
I'm trying to find the same brand he already has, but oh my goodness.
Okay, they shopping for the dog.
We'll see what we can find.
Okay.
So I want you to practice also.
All right, so we don't really have to watch her shop for the dog stuff, but I will, like I say, put it in the description below. Hopefully everybody is getting along with their neighbors, and y'all just remember what I said about treating your kids right, so they ain't gonna take care of you, if you need assistance when you are older. Instead of going into one of those what's the homes? Old folks homes. They got some nice ass old folks homes. There's one not too far. They got their own houses in the community. It's like apartments and houses. It's real nice, but you don't know how those people are treating the employees are treating the people. So let me see what she said.
Off of the dog community having a pee in a cat litter box, but what are you gonna do? Alright, I told you guys I'd update what I'm using that money for. So that's the first $100 down. Thanks everyone.
Stop Trader Joe's.
I have some updates to this situation. Trying to sneak this in real quick on my lunch break. I posted an official update on the GoFundMe this morning that's going to have most of the same information. So what progress have we made so far? First up, we still have not heard from John's son. John did go ahead and report him missing yesterday. I know we all have our opinions based on things that he's done, but at the end of the day, I have met this guy. He is a nice guy, and I really hope that everything turns out okay and that he's found safe and gets the help that he needs. Next up is his food situation. He does have Meals on Wheels. I was able to confirm that. Somebody does bring him lunch every day. I've bought him groceries a couple of times, and then I believe there is a social worker that's supposed to be bringing him groceries, but I'm having a hard time figuring out with John exactly what the deal is there and if that's ongoing, so stay tuned there. But again, we are moving soon. We cannot be his continual connection and to get groceries. So I'm working on that. A company did reach out to me, one of those shopping apps, and they want to get John set up with some groceries, which is amazing. I'm wondering if I could teach him the app so that he could be able to order groceries, but we shall see. Oh, in that same vein, a lot of people have asked me about setting up an Amazon wish list, but as much as I would love to do that, if he gets inundated with packages, he's just not going to be able to do anything about that. And it's better, I think, if you want to help, to please stick with the GoFundMe, and that'll hopefully be able to set John up for life with the funds and get more permanent systems in place versus me just buying him stuff or you guys just buying him stuff. We need to make sure that he is future-proofed. So I think he's okay on groceries is what I'm trying to say, but more thought and planning is needed there. Next up, John's been trying to reach out to his PCP, but he has not been able to get a hold of them. So I think I'm going to need to step in and see how I can help, because I think that's going to be our connection to home health, home care, and then also refilling a prescription of his that was stolen. I still haven't heard back from the people that I was hoping to have come clean the house. I've been getting more comments with more recommendations. I'm going to keep reaching out until I get someone in there to clean the freaking house. That is going to take us a long way. So yeah, nothing groundbreaking, but John and I are fighting the good fight and continuing to do what we can to fix him up a little better. Now for some more bad stuff that has recently happened. His car was found It was towed to his home, where he then had a locksmith come to rekey it because it was found with no keys, obviously. And AAA towed it down to the shop, where the shop declared it is totaled. It needs a complete new engine rebuild, and honestly, in my brief interactions with the car, like helping facilitate the tow trucks that day, it might be totaled from the interior alone, but the shop says it's totaled based on the fact that it needs an entire new engine. So even though John insists he can still drive, it's not like he was, using this car very frequently anyway, but it is a bummer. He only had liability insurance on it, so he won't be getting any money, like for any claim or anything, but at the very least, I'm gonna try to help him make sure that insurance policy is canceled, that they know the car is totaled, and then help him sell it for scrap. Second not so good update, John is being sued apparently by a credit card company that is trying to debt collect on him. He's due in court actually early in May. The story, as he tells me, his son opened up a credit card in his name, maxed it out, and obviously didn't pay for any of it. So I'm trying to get John in contact with neighborhood legal services. They supposedly try to help people as much as they can pro bono, but they can't take every case, and there are like financial and other eligibility requirements, so we'll see what happens there. If that won't work out, we can either choose between paying for a defense or just paying off the credit card and calling it good. Honestly, we'll see which one comes back as cheaper, and that will also be John's decision ultimately of what he wants to do. Another not necessarily bad update, but it's not great. GoFundMe has frozen transfers from the fundraiser to any bank accounts right now because they want to make sure that we are who we say we are, that John exists, that the story is real and all that. And the reason this was flagged is just because they noticed that I, as the organizer of the fundraiser, am not the beneficiary of the fundraiser. So they need to make sure that they get in contact with the beneficiary, aka John, make sure he is who he is and that he's cool with all that and whatever. It's nice to see that GoFundMe does like protect people from scammers and verify things, but it is a little annoying because for right now, any money is coming from either John's very limited income or from my own pocket. I'm trying to front things as best I can for him in the meantime. Oh, and on that topic, while we're here real quick, I've noticed some people sending me messages on GoFundMe saying like, oh, please use some of this money for gas or whatever you need. And I so appreciate that sentiment, but the money in the GoFundMe belongs to John, or I am committing fraud, and I do not plan on committing any fraud. I want everything to be very upfront, very transparent. The money in the fund is John's. So if you would like to buy me some gas or a cup of coffee, my Venmo's in my bio. Zero pressure there. I've just noticed a lot of people asking like, how can they help me out? Which you do not have to do. Speaking of money and credit cards and all that jazz, that does remind me, John at least says that his credit is frozen. I might call his good son and verify that with him just to make 100% sure that it's frozen with all three bureaus, but we want to make sure that nobody is opening any more credit cards in John's name. So I'm sorry this isn't necessarily the happiest update. We haven't fixed the situation yet, but we are making huge progress. So please keep boosting and sharing this fundraiser. Comment, like, share. Tell me your favorite color. Say hi to John and JJ. Whatever you have to do to get this in front of more people. But we're doing amazing. Right now it's very stressful because there's a lot going on and there's not much progress. But in the next couple weeks, I think we're going to really make some headway here and start getting some things checked off the list, which is very exciting. I'm just skimming the update I posted on GoFundMe over here. I think that is everything. I'll keep you guys posted. I'm sorry updates are a little sparse. I'm doing my best. I work full time. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing in terms of helping John, but we are figuring it out a day at a time. I appreciate you guys for sticking with me and helping out. It's been amazing for John to know that he has a community that cares about him, but it's also amazing for me to know that there's a community that cares about John and wants to help me help John. So love that. Love y'all. Please keep it up. Let's get this done.
That's what's up. I love this, man. She's actually, what's that there? Seasoning something? Yeah, some seasoning. Yeah, man. Y'all know we're getting way, way, way more up to date in technology. So, hey, after a while, I think they'd have been and came out with something super advanced. So even people who are not able to get around are able to get around much better. You know what I'm saying? Like some type of advanced ass wheelchair that lift you up, stand you up. It's probably gonna be all type of stuff that's coming out in the future. But again, shout out to this lady here. Looks like they in Pittsburgh, okay. And again, I will put the I gotta see. Make sure I can find the GoFundMe. I'm putting it in the description below. All right. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with me, man. Let me hurry up and do that right now because a lot of times I do forget to put links, but I'm gonna do that right now. Smash that like button and make sure y'all follow me on Instagram. All right. And again, the GoFundMe link will be in the description below. I'm about to go ahead and do it right now. Go ahead and get it. All right. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rock with me, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the story in the comments below. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.